Getting the guys back on the ice today after an extended break, what are you looking to do over these next couple days as you kind of ramp them up for this final stretch?
Yeah, we had 10 days off. It's kind of a big break, and it's a little unusual where you're coming off a break and you have kind of small numbers based on what's going on. It's a good thing because we have lots of guys playing in the championship game, but a little bit different than what the guys are used to in terms of numbers on the ice. I know coaching the American League and playing the American League for a long time, you had to deal with that a lot. I just find when that happens, these guys are good because they're good pros, but I find when you have a full group of guys out there, the pace is higher, the guys are energy's higher, and today, to be honest with you, we're just looking to get them moving, get lots of touches, trying to get some of the rust off their hands and their feet, and get a good workout. I sat down with Dougie, talked to Butch, sat down as a staff, just try to structure the week and say how can we best be prepared coming out of this break, being ready to play a game on Saturday. So we think today was just all about flow and touches and getting a good sweat in. Tomorrow we'll start to introduce more battle stuff, and we're going to try and touch on every zone each day moving into the weekend, much like we've done at a training camp or breaks we've had in the past. Hopefully we can touch the bases, remind the guys of the details, do a little bit of video each day just for reminders, and hopefully put them in the best position to succeed on Saturday.
I know it's probably a better question after Saturday, but the dynamic between these guys kind of ramping back up and the guys that will be returning ahead of Saturday, playing at such an emotionally high level, and these guys kind of, that dynamic between the two that you'll see Saturday, how do you manage that? I guess how tough is that to manage?
Yeah, it's a great question. I'm not sure we know the answer to that. Butch will have a better idea because he's gone through it himself. I mean, those guys, Butch included, have been on the road for 3 weeks. We were on the road for a week prior to the start of the break, and those guys went right out of the game in Boston into a pretty intense environment there where you're playing for your country, whoever you're representing, there's a lot at stake to perform and perform well. So I think our guys have done a great job, but they're going to be game ready. Just measuring the fatigue with the travel. Now they're coming from the East Coast all the way back here. Tight turnaround, and they were in Montreal. They had to travel. I understand they had some travel issues there going from Montreal into Boston. So I think it's probably going to be an advantage for us that Butch is there with them because he's going to know how they feel. And I think that's a great strength of his, of knowing what the guys need, know when they need rest, know when they need to push. And we've done a good job of giving them what they need in terms of rest, just making sure they're ready to play the games because they're obviously very important guys, every one of them.
Well, Four Nations face-off has been incredible to watch so far, but it was disappointing to see Shea Theodore be knocked out like he was in that first game for Canada. How do you imagine some other D-men, some depth pieces can step up in his absence?
Well, first of all, for Shea, I felt terrible for him. He's waited a long time for this opportunity, and he's become one of the premier defensemen in the league, and I'm sure if you asked him, he's always had this great desire to represent his country on such a big stage. So we were all excited for him because he was playing great, had a great road trip going into that event, and he didn't get very far before he got injured, so now he's not able to be a part of it. So first and foremost, that was disappointing just because we were so excited for the opportunity he had. But aside from that, we've carried 8D all year, and we've had 8D here that are ready to go. It's kind of unfortunate as a coach because you have to tell two guys they can't play every night. But I can tell you firsthand, Ben Hutton and Caden Korzak have been unbelievable in terms of attitude, work ethic, putting in the extra work, taking practices, as games, trying to stay ready. And I think they've both been tremendous. So we have the full confidence in those guys that they can step in and help us, much like they've done in the past. We've needed those guys in the playoff runs before, and they've stepped in, and we didn't miss a beat. So we're going to expect those guys to step into an opportunity that they've been preparing for here, and we expect them to play well.